大家好，欢迎回来，我叫富莱德。今天我们要回答的问题就是为什么要在2025年学习中文 Welcome back everybody. In this video, I want to give you 5 important reasons why you should study Chinese in 2025. 首先，有一些同学们可能对我不太熟悉，所以我要自我介绍一下。我叫富莱德，我在巴斯大学获得汉英翻译硕士学位，然后在英国驻华大使馆当过翻译。My name's Fred, and I have a master's degree in Chinese interpreting and translation from the University of Bath in the UK, and then I worked at the British Embassy in Beijing as a Mandarin English interpreter and translator. 好的，咱们开始吧。第一个非常重要的原因就是全世界有13.5亿能讲中文或者中文为母语的人。这不仅仅是中国大陆，也包括台湾、新加坡、马来西亚、柬埔寨、泰国、印尼、东南亚各个国家，还有美国也有不少的华侨或者能讲中文的人。The first reason is that there are approximately 1.35 billion Chinese speakers all over the world. And this is not just in the Chinese mainland, but also in places like Taiwan, Singapore. Various countries in Southeast Asia have a large Chinese diaspora, and also in the United States and other places in the Western Hemisphere, basically all over the world, in fact. I'm currently in Vietnam, and I bumped into Chinese people here who own businesses. I've traveled all over Southeast Asia, lived in a lot of places in Southeast Asia, been to 25 countries all over the world, and in just about every single one of those, I've bumped into Chinese tourists, Chinese business owners, Chinese expats, people who've settled there, second generation Chinese, and had a chance to use my Chinese. So if you learn Chinese, it gives you access to a market of around 1.35 billion people that you can chat to and form relationships with. And if you speak their language, or even if it's their second language, it still gives you a much more intimate connection. So from a personal communication point of view, Chinese gives you a huge bang for your buck. 也可以说把你的时间投入在学习中文方面是一个非常有效的投资，因为收获会非常非常的大。So it's a very good investment of your time, because with such a large market of speakers, you're going to get a very good return on your investment. 第二个原因是学中文可以让你从另外一个完全不同的角度来看世界。在传统上，中国文化受到儒教、道教、佛教很深刻的影响，所以呢，你学中文的话，你也会学到这种完全不同的世界观。The second point is that when you study Chinese, you're not just learning a language, you're actually learning a completely new worldview. Chinese culture has been deeply influenced by Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, and this is infused in the language and the culture. So when you study Chinese, you actually have an opportunity to learn this completely new culture, this completely new view on the world. And for me, it actually changed my mind in a lot of ways. You will also 受到共产党和社会主义的一些影响. You will also learn a little bit from socialism and communism, because this is obviously a part of the culture in China. And it gives you a very different view on things. There are many things from Marxism and communism which I can appreciate, which going to China as a 22-year-old was a very mind-opening experience and really broadened my horizons, because there are always different ways to look at things. And by studying a radically different language, you also have a chance to come into contact with a radically different philosophy on life and a worldview. 第三个原因是你可以很顺畅的上小红书. So if you study Chinese, you're going to be able to use the new Chinese app Little Red Book or Red Note more easily. And in recent days, we've heard a lot about a huge influx of TikTok refugees leaving TikTok and going over to Xiaohongshu. So once you start learning Chinese, you'll be able to use the app much more easily. And in fact, you can also find people on the app who will help you with your Chinese. 第四个原因是学中文的话，你可以更容易学其他的语言。The fourth point is that when you study Chinese, it then opens up other languages for you. Through Chinese, I was able to learn some Korean, some Japanese, and I'm currently in Vietnam studying Vietnamese. So I'm learning Vietnamese through Chinese. This is the process of language stacking. 因为日语、韩语和越南语有70%的词汇都是从古老的中文过来的。Up to 70% of vocabulary in some of these languages comes from Middle Chinese. So it really helps you to unlock these other languages if you already know Chinese. And you can think of it in terms of what Greek and Latin is to the Romance languages in the West, Chinese is to the Eastern Hemisphere. And I know that's a pretty crude approximation, but I'm basically talking about the Sinosphere and the influence that Chinese culture has had traditionally. It is somewhat akin to the spread of Greco-Roman culture throughout Europe and through the West. 最后一个原因是学中文的话，可以好好动脑子，练你的大脑。The fifth and final point is that if you study Chinese, it's great for cognitive training. It gives your brain a great workout. And especially because Chinese is a pictographic language, when you learn to write the characters, it will actually improve your spatial awareness. And it's been proven that learning languages is a great way to stave off cognitive decline and stay very mentally agile. 这就是5个非常重要的为什么要在2025年学中文的原因。These are my 5 reasons for studying Chinese in 2025. If you have other views or other reasons for studying Chinese, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. But that's all for now, and I'll see you shortly in the next video.